but with food to eat. Why they sleeping, why they snoozed on me? I was seizing opportunity. Now they don't know what to do with me. I keep going hard like I'm in puberty. Rebellions in my blood, there ain't no ruling me. Coming for the top, this is a mutiny. I want percentage, yeah. Put you in your mind like fucking Dennis, yeah. You never had a chance like an abortion. Broke it, you don't wanna play with me to forfeit. Shit, took it to a place they never thought he could. Now the lone wolf is howling up in Bollywood. Now I got some confidence, they call me cocky. Put your fucking tiger in the eye, I feel like Rocky. I am untouchable, I cannot fuck with you. I do not follow rules, makes me uncomfortable. I got all this passion and desire, force my path with the fire. Never passive, I acquire till I'm crashing your empire. They was sleeping, they was snooze on me. I was dreaming but with food to eat. Why they sleeping, why they snoozed on me? I was seizing opportunity. Now they don't know what to do with me. I keep going hard like I'm in puberty. Rebellions in my blood, there ain't no ruling me. I'm coming for the top, this is a mutiny. Don't know what to do with me.
Moshi moshi. Hi everyone, welcome to another stream. Good morning, good morning. It's 12:01, but still, we've all barely woken up anyways. So, welcome back to another workshop, R6 workshop. Welcome back to another R6 workshop. This has been brought to you by both the R6SC Rainbow Six Singapore community and also in collaboration with SCAPE's community rallies, where we teach you stuff about games. So that's pretty sick. So today's the last workshop, workshop 5. So let's have a really good one, especially for the participants. Not only will you be able to learn the game a bit more, maybe you can find new friends, find some players in the community Discord that will be sent over, which is from the R6SC side, where you can find other R6 players within Singapore, and you can make friends there, chit chat. At the same time, if you like stuff from SCAPE, you can tune in and follow the SCAPE esports channel along the way, and they'll have other programs and stuff like that, so you can tune into those. So yeah, without further ado, let's talk more about R6 stuff. So today is on map callouts and siege slang. Oh wait, sorry, before I get started, those of you who have already signed up for at least 2 other workshops, and this is your 3rd workshop, if not this is your 4th or 5th or whatever, right? You'll be also receiving an additional 2,400 R6 credits. So thanks for sticking around so much. At the same time, if you've not managed to collect these rewards, I hope you at least, the power of knowledge, you can't buy knowledge, so I hope you learn something from R6, and I hope it, boosts your gameplay, and if your goal is to maybe rank up or something like that, I hope you achieve that. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask me. Do try to keep it within today's topic, which is more on the callout siege slang. I will be showing the content page later, so you can keep note of that. At the same time, if you need a refresher on maybe past topics, feel free to ask me as well. I will try to be bringing up past topics within today's lesson as well, so that it's kind of like a refresher, while at the same time I want to show everyone that it kind of everything works hand in hand. All this different workshops, we cover different skills, and everything works hand in hand in order for you to be a more all-rounder and complete player. So let's get started. Yeah. Hi everyone in the chat. It's good to see familiar names. It's good to see familiar names. Alright, so a bit more of who I am for those who are new here. My name's Geraldo, that's my real name. I go by Playbox, that's my gamer handle. So my rank is basically diamond across all seasons. I've been playing for about 4 years now. I have a team right now, and I'm playing as the in-game leader, plus I also play utility flex operators such as, you know, Nomad, Capital, Monty, so and so. If you think I'm funny, if I'm handsome, if I got mushroom hair, whatever, if you think this was a good stream, whatever, feel free to follow me on Geraldo G's, where it's more my IRL stuff, so I can post my guitar and my stupid things like me being a nuisance in public. For Twitter, it's more for Rainbow Six, so if you'd like to stay tuned to R6 events, you can probably follow my Twitter instead, because I tweet a lot about my R6, I tweet about when I'm streaming, stuff like that. So yeah, pretty sick. Alright. So, for today's breakdown, we'll be going through some basic callout elements, examples of universal callouts, and how to describe your element environment on the fly. We also have a bit of a short Q&A after that. This will be part 1. So, if you have not known yet, we have our session split in half. So basically, within the 2-hour session, there's a 15-minute theory, followed by 45 minutes of playing, and then another 15-minute theory and 45 minutes of playing. So it's even, right? So part 2, we'll be covering more on siege slang. So siege slang will be terms that are used in Rainbow Six that you don't really commonly find in other games. I'll also be covering a few general FPS slang. If you are here from a MOBA game or, you know, I don't know, StarCraft or something. So I'll also be telling you how to quicken your callouts and how to make it more efficient, right? And also how you can combine all these different elements to have very accurate, short, and concise callouts. We also have a bit of a Q&A. So yeah, today we should have a bit more time than last week. So feel free to ask more questions. Thank you, Shiroy, for subbing with the Prime. Sluxy, thank you for the follow as well. Alright, next slide. Part 1. Let's get started, shall we? I thought the generic callout was over. On ping! I'll be telling you why today. I hope everyone learns today that that's not how you do it, man. Alright, let's get started. Hey, Johnny, thanks for the sub, dude. Love you, my man. See you all the time. Nube, thanks for the follow. So, basic callout elements, I have generally kept it simple. So, these are like the 3 general guidelines you can probably use when you're making a callout. Or, if you already know, like example, your friends you play with, or maybe a random guy in your team starts calling red stairs, but in your brain, you're like, what's red stairs? There's 3 staircases. A staircase is a staircase. Why is there red? Well, this is a good idea of how these callouts are created in the first place. Like white stairs, red stairs, blue hallway, things like this, or like clock, cigar, table, all these kinds of callouts. These are the reasons why. So this is like working backwards on how these callouts are made in the first place. So it usually goes by color, length. If not, it's going to be item/object. So for color, as I said before, you can call it red hallway, blue hallway, red stairs, white stairs, brown stairs. If not, you can also go by length. So length is more common for hallways, not so much for like staircases or whatever. So length can be like, let's say there's a hallway going left and a right. I'll have an example later, so don't worry if you don't understand. So there'll be 90 long, 90 short, bar long, bar short, study long, study short, stuff like that. Items and objects, so this is more specific on the different maps. So let's say on Villa there's a deer, you can call it deer. On Clubhouse, let's say there's a jukebox, you can call it jukebox. If there's a television, you can call it TV, stuff like that. So yeah, it's quite intuitive. So these are some examples. Color, red stairs, this was taken on Cafe. For those who have participated in previous games, you've played Cafe quite a bit. This is red stairs. Red stairs is red because it's a red carpet and it's a staircase, and all the other staircases don't have a red carpet, thus making it, you know, thus making it so that you can call it red stairs because it doesn't confuse anyone else, basically. I'll have a bit of Q&A and frequently asked questions, so I'll be covering a bit more theory as well. Okay, so blue hallway. Why? There's a blue light. It's in hallway. There's a blue strip. Call it blue hallway. Just for you to know, so there's actually 2 hallways in this blue, right? So there's one here and there's one here. This is blue short. This is blue long. Why? Because blue long is a longer hallway than blue short, which is a shorter hallway. Whoa! That's pretty cool, isn't it? Alright. Alright, let's move on. So, length, 90. This is on Villa. I don't think we've played Villa, but because it's a bit more complex, but basically, all you need to know is, this picture was taken standing at the exact same spot. It's just that on the left, you see him facing the right. On the right image, you see him facing the left. So, on the right image, oh my gosh, this one, this is 90 long. Why? Because it's a longer hallway compared to 90 short. Whoa, intuitive, wow, sciencey. Yeah, so this is just a general image showing how this hallway just looks like standing at the corner. Alright, let's move on. Now, items and objects, I would like you all to pay attention to these bright purple circle. This is what I'm trying to highlight as the object. So this is taken in Villa as well. It's in the astronomy room. So this is towards Statue Deer area if you want some context. So this area on the corner, it's called telescope. Why is it called telescope? I know it's not called a telescope, so please don't flame me, but we are gamers. We don't know the sciencey terms. Just call it a telescope. Black box. So why is it called black box? Even though there's another, as you can see here, this is taken in the same room. There's 2 sets of black boxes. However, now that we call this telescope, we can call this black box. So we call it black boxes because it's a stack of black boxes, and it's a very common area to play. Callouts are usually for common areas. By the way, it's not so much like every single spot on the map has a callout with bearings and numbers and digits and decimals and like north, south, east, west. Now we don't really do that in this game. It's usually just general callouts. Of course, if you have a team, it gets more specific. But most of the time, most of you are not in full stack, so try to be a bit more generic with your calls so that everyone else can understand. There's white color and red stairs. Alright, so black box and black. Okay. Everyone's green in the chat for me, dude. It's so hard to pinpoint who's typing. Give me a second. I'm gonna host the lobby now. So Fox, if you can you get ready? Get ready. Yeah. I'm just gonna host this really quick. Just give me a moment, and then after this, I'll be finishing up the theory, and then we'll proceed with the games. All right. So moving forward, how to describe on the fly. Basically, this is when you're trying to give callouts. How do you really make use of your surroundings, and like how do you give a descriptive callout without just like on ping or something like that, right? So something to know is a good portion of the maps, right, or rooms, they have a general callout for you already. So if you look on the bottom right of this image, there's a red circle. It's called cocktail lounge. So usually people don't say the second word most of the time. So you can just call this cocktail. Let's say you don't have a call for this table, this table, this table, or this vase. Just call it cocktail in general, and it's still better than nothing, right? So if you don't know the callouts because you haven't played much, or maybe you haven't played the map that much, or maybe you haven't adventured that area, don't be shy. Just give this general callout. It's always useful to help. So another good thing you can do for describing on the fly is things where you try to describe it better, right? So in this case, on the left you see inner bar table. So basically, rather than just saying, let's say this table is called bar table, right? Instead of saying bar table, 1 by bar table, Zofia bar table, right? You can say he's on the inner bar table, he's on the outer bar table. This way, it's easier for your teammates to understand what angles can be watched from that bar player, so they can better position themselves on site, maybe, or maybe the flank. You have a guy who can flank, something like that. So piano, right? Piano is a huge room, as you all know in cafe. Piano is a huge room. So some ways you can describe is basically clock, right? So in piano, there's only one clock, so you can just call it clock. Some people call it Big Ben, but just call it clock. Basically, this also uses the element of describing with items and objects, so you can do that. So this is just some like short Q&A, FAQ kind of thing. Is there any questions in chat? Let me see. So what if it's on coastline where 90 is like the same length? Coastline is a map where we don't actually call any of the hallways 90. Like 90, we call it 90, but we don't call the hallways 90. So basically we go by theater hallway. If not, it's by VIP hallway. Those are the more common callouts. Some people call it vase hallway instead of theater hallway, but just most people call it theater hallway and VIP hallway. So a rule of thumb, right, is also like if you don't call it long or short. Basically, long and short is used when you don't have rooms next to it usually. If not, the room is not so significant. But let's say on coastline where it's a small ass map and everyone's literally gonna pass by the same hallways at some point, then you focus more on using the room callout. So like VIP hallway, hookah hallway, kitchen hallway, stuff like that. Luggage uses the concept of items and objects where you describe the area through the unique items that I've found. Alright. So these are some questions that because I know some of you always ask me questions after the stream, so I try to answer now if I can as well. But yeah, feel free to also message me if you have any questions. By the way, type it in the Twitch chat. You can add Playbox Arena, I will reply, it's easy for me to see. If not, you can put your comments in the workshop chat if you're a participant. Or, if you're very, very shy, you can DM me on Discord, DM me on Twitter, DM me on Instagram, whatever. If you have my number for some reason, you can WhatsApp me or Telegram me. But yeah, some questions is it bad to say on ping? Yeah, don't do that. Now you have ping 2.0. So my recommendation is instead of saying on ping, on yellow, on red, just say on number 2, on number 3, on number 1, on number 4, on number 5. But before you say that, always try to say the room first. So let's say mining. Let's say you have a teammate facing the north side, but you want to give him a call out on the south side. Don't just say on ping, on ping. The guy can't see behind him. So what you can tell is like that you still say the room. So let's say the room behind him is piano. You can say, hey, one's piano on number 2 ping, something like that. So is it bad to say just flanking? To just say flanking? So instead of, like you always see someone say flanking, 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 but they don't say where or who, right? So I'll be covering that later on part 2, so don't worry about that. But yes, for now, just note that saying just flanking is not so good. Try to give the player attention that you're trying to alert. If not, try to say just the room. Should you shout a call out as in you raise your voice? So let's say it's emergent, like emergency, right? Like, is it wrong to shout? It depends. So let's say you have your IGL giving an execute plan, like the general idea, and you are shouting that, yeah, it's not so good. But if it's something important like someone's flanking, you can raise your voice. That's important. So yes, it's okay to really just shout. Is it important to name what operator you see? Yeah. How do you describe someone standing in between 1 and 2F? So most teams, at least in a competitive setting, if not just higher elo players, we are very common when it's very common for us to describe staircases with decimals. So let's say in between the first floor and the second floor, there's always like this flat platform. It's not really a staircase, it's just like a flat platform in between. We call that 0.5. So let's say the map has a basement, a first floor, and a second floor. We call it 0. So it'd be basement, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.53, something like that. Just for y'all to note. How do you describe when someone is close to a door for your teammate? So let's say you want to drone your teammate into a room and you see that there's a player on the door, right? Like really close to the door. How do you describe that? So usual common terms people like to use is hard left, hard right, or close left, close right. And if that player on the doorway is peeking, you can say, let's say it's a Jaeger's peeking, right? Because we should always give the operator name. You can say Jaeger peeking, then you say the door, or you can say Jaeger swinging door close, something like that. I play with a friend who prefers to shut up rather than give callouts because he relies on sound to make plays. How do we do calls? Personally, I think your friend's in the fault. Callouts should always be given and it should always be taken. There are certain situations where you should just leave a player to hear. these are situations where, let's say it's a 1v2, right? And let me find a good example. Okay, so an example, right? Let's say your teammate is playing, let's use an easy map like Cafe. Let's say a teammate is in Cocktail, and he's in a 1v2 where he already knows where the players are generally, like one's top white, one's pushing long bar, right, or under skylight. In situations like that, it's okay if you can give callouts, or you can ping with the ping 2.0 system. Let's say you have a drone on the enemy, but let's say the enemy is already very close. That's when your whole team should just go silent and just let that guy clutch, because sometimes you just need to focus when you're in a clutch situation. But however, I would suggest your friend learn to multitask, how to take in callouts while still focusing on his gameplay, because it's good to be very aware as an individual player, but at the same time it's very important for you to get important information from your team. So let's say you have information like, hey, there's a guy C4ing you from below, or like there's a guy behind you, like on the white stairs coming up right now, something like that. Those are important. And let's see if the lobby is ready. Soon. Alright. But don't backseat game. If you find yourself, or your teammates are finding yourself trying to tell the guy, hey, you should rotate here, hey, you should rotate there, hey, you should watch this angle instead, I don't recommend that. As a IGL as well, for me personally, sometimes it's good for me to just let my teammates make a mistake. That way, when they fail, in a sense, like when they die and the round ends or the game ends, I can be like, hey, remember this round? You should have watched this angle, because if you watch this angle, you wouldn't have died from a player behind you. Or like, oh, if you stood more to your left a bit, the staircase wouldn't have an angle on you, and you could take that 1v1, something like that. It just depends what you're going for. But generally, don't backseat game, but give information. But try not to shout when a player is clutching, because he really needs the sound. If someone calls out decimals, I'll probably take a while to process it. Well, it takes some time. Most of the time, people understand. On console, it's a bit different, by the way. So, I think for John or some other players, most of you play this game quite a lot. So, you already know that people use 0.5 callouts. Am I supposed to invite someone, by the way? Kindly invite Mondus. Alright. So, I don't have... Wait. Oh. I don't have Mondus. Mondus is in. Alright. So, let me finish this one last question, and then I'll start. So, just something for you to note as well for those a bit more experienced players. On maps like Consulate, where there are 2 flat platforms on staircases, there is more than just 0.5. So instead of 0.5, you can even say 0.75. Something like that. So yeah, just for you to note. Please spam spacebar. Dude, teammates that type might as well AFK. Yeah, true. People should stop doing that. Callouts are very important in this game, so I hope that all of you guys can take that to note. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks for notif. Let's go. Oh, wrong map. But actually, no, it's not a wrong map. It's alright. You can do coast. Coastline's good because there's a lot of color coordination. So there is actually sunrise bar. Some people call that red bar. There is billiards room. The couches. Some people call it pink bar. There is blue bar because it's blue. So you can use these callouts. It's actually very good. Actually no, this map's good for this kind of callouts. There's lots of long hallways as well, so you can use long, short, stuff like that. I will be focusing on the attacking side first, and then moving on to the defending side on the next part. They tend to use their mics only at the end of the match to tell you that you're bad. If you have teammates telling you that you're bad, then that's wrong. It's always good to be coachable. So for you, it's a team setting, right? So something that's very important for players who are trying to be competitive, or make it big or whatever, or at least like try. You should always be a very coachable player. So you should always be able to take in feedback. Of course, if your teammate just flames your ass, take it in with a pinch of salt. But definitely, as a teammate, you yourself should not be flaming people. Try to bring the best. Oh, sorry. Give me a second. I forgot to change the 69. Give me a moment. So you should always try to give feedback to your teammates, because at the end of the day, everyone's just trying to improve, and at the same time, yeah, everyone's just trying to improve, right? So you should help one another, basically. Just keep it clear that when you guys are scolding one another, it's for the good cause, right? But be constructive. Don't just say, hey, you're bad, dude, your aim sucks, dude, you missed that. Try to be like, hey, I think you should have rotated here instead. Hey, I think you need to start paying attention to the callout, something like that. That's fine. For now, let's focus on callouts. I can't spectate callouts because I can't hear them giving callouts, so I hope you guys on stream can understand if I'm not talking too much about callouts. One way to identify as a spectator whether they are giving good callouts is when you see a player die, right? Will there be another player to cover? Will there, or do you see that when a player is entering a room, is there a drone following kind of thing? So yeah, I mean, if there's a drone, is there a player following? That's when you know that teams are communicating well with one another. Other than that, I'll be spectating more on seeing how much they have improved from the past 4 workshops. So yeah. I could not catch that. Okay, as you can see now, right? Now it's being droned by Mondes. So, most likely Mondes is now giving callouts. Hey, there's a guy in VIP. Swinging wide, and that is why you'd see players like Alice, okay, no, this is not supposed to happen. Something to note, right, for players, it's always good to have intel and want to be helpful and supportive to help your teammates give information, but you should never over drone one another, in a sense where, let's say if a drone entering, in this case, penthouse, you should not have another drone entering penthouse, unless there's a split, as in, let's say when you enter penthouse, there's a left room and a right room. Then it makes sense to put 2 drones where one goes left, one goes right. However, in this case, penthouse is literally only 1 room, as you can see like this. So, having 2 drones is very ineffective. One reason being, let's say you guys actually spot a player. Let's say you find this Valkyrie player here. Now this Valkyrie player can shoot 2 drones for free, and you've lost so much utility in the form of drones. So, instead, what you can do is have 1 drone and your other player follow the drone. That way you can make use of the information where, let's say in the Valkyrie case, if the Valkyrie shoots the drone, the player actually gets to trade, kill off the Valkyrie, and now you have a lead. All you did was lose 1 drone in order to kill 1 defensive player. So, something to note. At this moment, it's not so great to have your players split up like this. So as you can see, there's 2 players here, and you'd see that Waffle's now solo pushing alongside Mondes. So, perfect example here why you don't push solo, especially if you have no information. As you can see, there's no flanked drones, there's no Claymore, no Nomad, no Gridlock. Is you get flanked very, very, very easily. So, as a team, play as a team, right? Most of the time you can afford stacking up players, as in 2 or 3 people, so you can pair people together. However, there are of course bigger maps like Villa, which are very heavily defender sided, where you're forced to take control. Then, only then will you have to split up a bit more, have more solo individual play. Small question, any tips on when it's better to use red ping vs no ping? Personally, at this point of time, red ping is not really used much. Usually people just ping because of ping 2.0. So you can, as I said before, try not to just say on yellow, on ping. Try to say your number. So, let's say you're number 2, right? And you're the one pinging. You can say on number 2 ping. Or you can say on number 2 ping in piano. Or you can say piano on number 2 ping. Something like that. I used to play CSGO. Why I'm not used to this game is the vertical plays. Ah, that's very common, dude. I came from CS as well. I used to play CS quite a bit. Play Face It, everything. I was global elite on Face It, and the moment I came to Rainbow Six, I got my ass clapped. But I think it's very good to get used to, at least in vertical play, because yeah, as you said, it's something unique to Rainbow Six, and unfortunately and fortunately, because of this uniqueness, playing vertical is very rewarding if you are able to get to the space you need to be in the first place. But if let's say you're a defender and someone's playing your vertical angle, what you can do is either you send a player below him, or if you can't do that, flank the player. So as in C4 below him. We covered last week before. This is a refresher. How to properly use your utility better. So in this case, you'll be using like Pulse C4, Mozzie C4, Valk C4, alongside with the information you gain from intel operators like Maestro, Valkyrie, Mozzie as well. So you can either C4 from below, or you can challenge them by roaming, or you can flank up. Because let's say you're fighting, especially for players who are below that plat rank threshold, usually players are not very aware of their flank, so it's quite easy to flank players. So yeah, you should practice those. Another method that's used by a lot of pro teams is to directly contest. So let's say you have let's say you know your enemy team plays a buck and they want to enter piano to play vertical into mining, right, on cafe. You can then send a roamer on piano to play it very aggressively, if not at least contest the windows, so that the attackers can't just enter piano for free without, you know, maybe losing a few drones or a player or some utility. So those are some ways you can go about it. It's about how you balance your greed. You want to flank late, flank early, or you want to just straight up contest at the start, something like that. So right now, this is a bit better, right? They're pairing up. So pairing up makes it easier for trades to occur, which is, you know, important. So this is vertical. As you can see now. Is it useful? Well, in this situation, the way he's using it, not so much. But yeah, still, it's alright. So, oops. So right now, yes, you can see red pings are going down. Red pings are only good if you, well, I feel like red pings nowadays is only useful if you can actively make use of that callout. So let's say you have a guy peeking, right, and you want to ping for your teammate who's peeking, then you use the red ping. But even so, right now I find myself using the 2.0 ping, the yellow ping, more than the red ping, even when my teammate is trying to peek a corner. However, on Maestro cameras, something to oh no. However, on Maestro cameras, you can't turn the cam, so keep that in mind. You only can red ping. Is this guy Diamond? He's Diamond, isn't he? Seconds left. I saw his charm. Alright. 10 seconds to go. So, something to note, not much really went down in the form of utility usage. There was some attempt in fighting vertical angles, and if you see on your top left of your screen now, that's a C4 hole. So that's something that you guys can also, who are new to the game, basically by opening these holes in between bomb sites, it's easier to rotate and defend, while at the same time while opening that top hole that you saw on your top left of your screen, that's for people to throw C4s to deny plant. So that was good. I'm sure that if the attackers had more time and managed to try and plant, then yeah, the smokes would go down, the C4s would go down, and there'll be more utility usage. However, in this case, being split up, and no one's really live droning for one another, neither is anyone really pre-planting drones. So we covered last week as well, pre-planting drones, how to properly use your utility and gadgets, secondary gadgets as well. Is pre-plant drones basically is, let's say you plan, your attack is planning to, in this case, let's say your plan is to take office into blue bar, right? Instead of waiting for you to spawn and then you, oh, I'm on office door, I'll throw a drone, and then you drone it in, and then you just wait, or you lose your drone. Why not, at the start of the run, you find a shelf or a cabinet inside of office, you hide your drone there, so that once you've run to that office door at the start of the run, you just need to press number 5, you get on your camera, clear, you enter straight away. So that's just a tip for people. So this way, as an attacker, you save more time, and we've covered this I think on workshop 2, which is time. So time is the more time left in the round, the more fair it is for the attackers. However, the less time there is in a round, the more it favors the defenders, because the defenders can just wait, the defenders can adjust their utility, the defenders can flank players, roam players, move around their positions, stuff like that. So we've covered before about utility, right? So to those that were unable to come for Workshop 4, basically we covered our secondary gadgets as well. Alice now has nades, one set of flashbangs, one set of nades, one breaching charge for the hatches, and a set of smokes. This is very balanced. We've talked about the term balance before. Balance in the sense where you basically have all the necessities you need. Definitely attacking side, you have a bit more freedom to choose what you want as compared to the defending side. But let's quickly go over to the defending side. We have one shield, one C4, two sets of impacts, and one barbed wire. So this is not balanced. Why? You don't need two sets of impacts, especially on a map like Coastline. So in this case, they already have two shotguns on the hands of Mira, which is right now who I'm spectating, alongside Maestro, which is who I'm spectating now. So this way, by having shotgun, pistol, secondary weapons, you don't need that additional impact gadget. So why not bring other gadgets which we've covered before? If you have every gadget covered, you can bring things like bulletproof camera on Legion, or you can bring another deployable shield, or in this case, maybe one set of barbs could do them good as well, even though they already have a Legion. You know, just something to note. So now we head back here, right? So over here we see that there's good coverage, there's lots of angles. So right now what we see from the attackers is a more dominant style of play where they take up everything. So right now you see Beverages soloing this south area, while Ash is soloing this middle area, and one guy is playing Vert on this Zophie. Where is Zophie? Here. It works on a map like Coastline where it's very gunfight dependent. However, on bigger maps like Villa, I will continue to use... I apologize. I'll continue to use Villa as an example because Villa is the most defender-sided map, in a sense where it's very big and it's very easy for defenders to rotate and play it safe and hide in corners and rooms, because rooms are very hard to clear on Villa. So on maps like Villa, by playing solo, you're more often than not going to be caught off guard, if not getting flanked or stuff like that. It's very hard to play Villa like this. However, on Coastline you can afford to do that. On Villa, I would always recommend teams to play more paired up, more stacked up together. So something for players to note, right? Especially for people who are playing in teams or whatever. One thing you can try is, a rule of thumb is big maps, pair up. Small maps, you can play a bit more greedy if you know that your gunfight is stronger. That was close. Okay, let's see. I saw a video on YouTube saying as defenders do not peek the holes created by attacker. I would say that's okay. In the grand scheme of things, I disagree with that quite strong. However, in a general setting where you have no other, as in, let's say they open a wall on your north, right? And you're standing on this square box in the middle of the room. Let's use Clubhouse Cache as an example. Let's say they open up a construction wall into Cache, where I can't remember, I think it's east, right? So let's say east now, and you're standing on the west side of the box, which means you have cover directly for the east. Let's say you have another attacker who opens up the wall behind you, as in on the west side now. So now there's two breaches watching you from the east and from the west. Then you have really no choice but to fight, right? However, something that I really recommend people to learn, this really comes with more game knowledge in general for FPS, or if not in Rainbow Six, if you just main Rainbow Six, is you really need to up your game sense, in a sense where you need to know when is it right to peek, when is it not right to peek, when is it right to make a risky play, when should you just sit back. So this is something that I can't really teach. I can give tips along the way if you have any questions along your journey or whatever when you're trying to improve, but most of it really just comes with experience and time spent on the game, understanding the flow. But peeking a breach may be the right move. Let's say your enemy team is playing, let's say you have 5v5, right? No one's dead yet, no man count advantage. The time is still like 2 minutes, right? Which means there's lots of time left in the round. And the wall is already open.
10 seconds left.
However, one thing to note is, let's say you know there's a capital, right? If there's a capital outside that breach, I recommend you go for the peak. Because if you win that fight, of course try to take gunfights you know you can win, as in, let's say outside the breach there's not much cover. Pre-fire that as a defender, or you know that maybe the angle from the breach is not so good to see you, then you take that fight because it's advantageous to you. So you need to know when you should take advantageous fight. Another guy asked this question before, was from Quack. You just need to know how angles work. So peeking from a further angle is always advantageous than peeking from a close angle. This being that in this game, if you swing from further from a corner compared to the enemy team, or from the enemy player, you will see the enemy before they see you. So an example of this is, let's say Alice here, right? Now he's on drone, so it's a bad example. Let's say this drone, someone's peeking this door. It's advantageous to the player inside the room of Sunrise to peek because he's further. Something like that. But peeking a breach, it depends. You need to understand when you should take that gamble. And who are you trying to take that gamble for? Let's say you're taking a gamble for an Ash player, it's not worth. If you're taking a gamble for another Heart Breach player, a Vertical player, then it may be worth if you're confident. But let's say you're in a 3v5, you're in a pinch, the enemy team's executing, they're set up everywhere around you and they're just ready to just push everything together. You should peek it then. Because if you wait any longer as a 3v5 in the team, as a defender, and the enemy, and you let the attackers set up, you're more often than not going to lose. So what you should do in a situation like that, when you know the attackers are trying to set up soon, you should make it as hard as possible for them, which means you create noise, you contest angles, you start nading, impact tricking, or stuff like that, right? Start swinging angles, peeking angles, stuff like that. That way, let's say you kill a player, now it's 3v4. Now the amount of areas the attackers have in control is less, so the odds of you winning that clutch situation is much easier. So maybe your teammates end, right? They don't have to fight 2 angles. Now they only have to fight 1 angle, making it much easier for them. So yeah, it's huge. So in a situation like this, did the Capcom have the peak? No. However, it is an advantageous fight for him to take. Why? Because in this bar, only his head is exposed. And in this door, they can only stand on the left or the right. So if you just pre-fire the left or the right, you're more often than not getting a free kill. So this is something to note. See okay, so something to note as well, how to take a fight, right? In that doorway, you see, is very disadvantageous. Reason being, you have to fight that bar counter, someone playing behind the bar counter, there's also a shelf, there's a couch on the hut, right? And if you don't have information to know where exactly the defenders are standing, then you shouldn't peek that, because you're at a huge disadvantageous angle. While the defender can just see between left door, right of the door, same door as well, same door, you have to clear a whole room and a half. So fights like that you shouldn't take unless you have information. So something you can do is you put a player vertical, play vertical, force out enemies, or you just drone, as I said, use your information, stuff like that. Or you can nade out the counter, which I think they tried to do, but they got the player died while trying to throw a grenade. So that was unfortunate. Give me a moment. I'm not muted right yet. Okay. Oh, sorry, wrong page. So let's cover a bit of utility. Okay, let's now I can talk about attackers. Now it's good. Okay, so you see Flash on Ash. I can't spectate Kali at the moment, but Kali brought claymores. Zofia has breaching charge, Sledge has grenades, and Maverick has claymore. This is not balanced.
5 seconds left.
Reason being, Sledge has a hammer which breaks hatches, soft walls, anything of the sorts, right? This makes it so that breaching charges are redundant unless, let's say, Zofia is pushing south, whereas the Sledge is pushing west, right, or something like that. So that way, maybe they're far apart and they want to save on some time as an attacker. But in general, you don't need it. especially on Coastline, which is a very small map. Usually team, as I said, you're kind of paired up a bit. At least at the start. At the same time, you have Kali, which can open up hatches, so you really don't need that breaching charge. And you have two soft breach operators like Ash and Sophia, where Maverick also can open soft hatches. So in a case like this, you don't really need that breaching charge. Yeah, just something to note. So it's not balanced, basically, is my point. On the defending half, it's balanced. Maybe a bit more than balanced as well, in a sense where they have 3 sets of barbed wire instead of just the usual default of 2 sets. Maybe they could have brought a shield, or a shield would be good in this case like this, where they already have intel given from Valkyrie cameras, so they don't need bulletproof cameras. They can bring shield, stuff like that. So it's just something to note. Now back to the attackers. So a case like this, why is this bad? Why is this bad? Reason why is not so great is he can get flanked from VIP, which is, let's see, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah. So, I hope you guys can understand why it's good to have players watch flank drones. Why is it important to have flank drones? And why is it also important to play with your teammates so that in the event where you do die, right, you have a teammate to at least get the trade-off, so that it's not just all is lost, right? So let's say 5v5, you die, now it's 4v5, but then your teammate gets a kill 4v4, now you're back to even scoreboard, where it's at least better than a 4v5. So that's why you should always try to make use of your teammates. I know some of you guys always say that you're solo queue, your teammates are just toxic, they don't want to work together, they just ash rush. New suggestion. I think R6SC should be in the chat now. Join the R6SC channel, especially if you're a Singaporean, because you will not only be finding friends and whatever, right? You can be updated on whatever local events are happening for R6, be it if it's an... Oh, you see his head! Be it if it's, if you play a... be it if it's an online event. Like, let's say we have skirmish events where we play arcade game modes and also like custom game modes. Whilst at the same time, also be updated and notified on offline events. Of course, right now there's COVID, so we can't really plan any community offline events like go to a LAN party or whatever like that. However, when it's all over, we'll have things like that. So keep posted on that. But at the same time, if you're struggling to find players to play with, right? R6SC is a good way for you to be able to find other like-minded Singaporean players. So like, let's say you just want to have fun, you want to play casual, you can just go to the casual looking for games chat channel and say, hey, anyone want to play? More often than not, people will reply and play with you. So that'll be fun, right, for you. But let's say you want to play rank, you can go to the looking for rank channel and say like, hey, I'm Plat 3, I'm looking for some friends to play with, let's go get Plat 2 together or something like that. So just look out for those, and if everything works out, you'll be able to at least meet people who are like trying to improve, and yeah, everything is working. So this is also good for this workshop, right? This workshop, you get to find other players who are interested in Rainbow Six, wanting to improve in Rainbow Six. Every single player here, be it in the game, if not on Twitch chat. So yeah, that'd be sick. Make use of your teammates by baiting them. Don't be that guy, man. On ranked, it's baiting. On pro setting, it's usually, I'd say it's 50-50. Sometimes it really just is baiting, because baiting is effective. But yeah, pinching is the better way of... Pinching is the best form of baiting. I think some of you guys may not really understand what I mean by pinching, because it's quite an FPS term, if not only... not really many people use the terms, at least. So what pinching means is, let's say if you look at the middle of the screen, let's say there's a player playing in this hallway. Let's say there's a roamer, the Jaeger is playing in this hallway. You have a teammate here in VIP hallway pushing up this player. What can you do to ensure that this hallway player cannot rotate all the way back downside? What you can do is rappel on this window. That's called pinching. So let's say you have a player rappelled here, You have a player pushing up this hallway, and maybe you have one more player here in penthouse, like where Sledge is, right? Now this roamer, right, this Jaeger playing in this hallway, is unable to rotate down the staircase, unable to rotate down this hallway, unable to rotate into this room. So that's called pinching, basically. What is baiting? Baiting is, now you have two players pushing up this hallway, you send one in to die, and then the other one goes behind. But yeah, baiting is fine. That's if you trade, correct. That's if you can trade. But you need to know when you can do it. Let's say you really can't afford to put a player to pinch, then yeah, why not? But at the same time, it's you need to know if it's worth to bait it for. Like, let's say if it's just a Jaeger player, there's no point. Let's say it's a Valkyrie with C4, Nitro cells. They can deny plant. Pulse. Ooh, info gathering operator. Important operators to kill as an attacker. Then maybe. If you're greedy enough. If you're confident that you can win the trade and also win that 4v4, then by all means. If you're running out of time and you're desperate, by all means. So one thing I don't like right now, Johnny, the Zofia player, right now we're spectating, he's joining for himself. This player playing for himself. This player trying to go for a plant where there is no cover. So let's say there was some communication between the... Ooh, nice shot. Let's say there's some communication between this attacking side team. What will be different? My suggestion, whilst this player is planting... Yes, correct. Blackbeard, alright, should be covering through Hall of Fame, watching this angle all the way through here. Where you will have then a drone, let's say right here in the middle of my screen where you see that impact hole facing this VIP hallway door that we see Alice flanking, right? So this way, as you have dead teammates, you can be like, hey, can you watch my VIP flank? I'll cover for plant, something like that. Or like, as a Blackbeard player, can be like, hey Hibana, go for plant, I can cover you. I can cover your penthouse. Someone watch VIP drone. That's how you can do that. So that's just something to note. Most of the time, even high elo, people struggle with execution. So execution not as in like, oh crap. Boom. Could you have seen my face just now? Did I turn it off by accident? That's my bad, bro. But what I mean by execution, I don't mean like you go Mortal Kombat someone's butt and like whatever. No, I mean execution for sight. So execution for sight means how you get that plant down. So what makes a good execution is coordination. So coordination in a sense where you have players covering angles, you have someone watching flank drones or whatever like that whilst the plant is going down. Rather than everyone's watching the same angle, rather than everyone's doing their own thing and the heart breacher or whoever support player is trying to force that plant down without anyone covering him, then that's not so good. So that's just something to know. Execution is rather hard to do. So that's why communication between your teammates, callouts, stuff like this is all very, very, very important. And on this part 2, you also know why what to do as a dead player. Why is it so important as a dead player to get on cams? Bonus for you to know, bonus tip, if you ever hear someone say, we need an execute op, as an operator, right? Op for short. If you need an execute op, what they mean is they want smoke utility or something that makes it easier to get the plant down. So what makes the plant easier to get down? Yeah, as I said, smoke. It covers off lines of sight. Or you can just bring like Capital, you can burn off corners. Or you can bring Ying, which can both cover off hallways with smokes. Candela while the plant is going down, preventing defenders from being able to see anything so that they can't C4 and deny or whatever, right? So that's what's meant by execute operators. Similar to how defenders have deny plant operators, like smoke canisters from smoke, C4 nitro cells from a load of operators like mute and so forth and so forth. Something to note. We've covered this in workshop 3 and 4, so I think most of you past participants should know. Let's move on. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to kiss the mic. Yeah, I think everyone's back. Yeah, I see the viewers going back up. All right, siege slang. This is important to know. So I know some of you guys come from mobile games like League of Legends, or you come from what was it? I can't remember the game at the moment. Some of you play MMOs as well, RPG games. So what's commonly said in FPS is terms like wallbang, peeking / swinging, wide peek, wide swing, close right, close left, care. Care is like my favorite thing to say, man. It's like so good, so short, so simple. So wallbang, I'll just do this quite briefly because I think most of you know. Most of you are like gamer boys like me. So or gamer girls or whatever you choose to be. Wallbang. Wall, you shoot wall, kill player behind wall. That's wallbang. So let's say you know there's an enemy behind a soft wall, right? And your teammate drones it for you. Hey, there's a guy on number 2 ping behind that soft wall. Let's just wallbang. Something like that. That's what they mean. They want you to just shoot through that soft wall and get the kill rather than having to risk your life and peek directly. Why not just shoot the guy through the wall? That's wallbanging, right? Peeking or swinging. Personally, I'm a fan of using the term swinging. Why? I don't know. But it's always been I always said swing. But peeking, basically, it's peeking, right? So, peeking is the opposite of passive in a sense. Well, I know aggressive is the opposite, but peeking is playing aggressive, right? So, instead of just sitting down, hunkering down, you're engaging in fights, as in, instead of just playing behind a doorway, you're now peeking that doorway, you're leaning through that doorway, or instead of just hiding behind a table, you're not standing up from that table, looking left of that table, right of that table, stuff like that. So, close right, close left. This is more used for like doorways or stuff like simple thing, very intuitive. Just close. Or you can even say far, so it can be like close left, close right, far left, far right, stuff like that. Care. What is care? Care is a term where it's like it doesn't really have a proper description. I'm still waiting for my coffee sponsor, by the way. So it basically it's implied that they want a player to watch it, if not be cautious of or keep in mind. So implied to watch as in, let's say you have a hunch that someone's flanking white stairs. You can say, hey, care white stairs. Simple, right? Or let's say you have a hunch that someone's gonna C4 from below when you're trying to plant. You can say, hey, care post C4 from below. Stuff like that. Razer mouse sponsor? Nah, bruh. Normally I say care leisure mind or care cap contract. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Care is just basically, you can use it for a lot of things. Care is just a very short way of saying, hey, look out for that lesion mine. You can just say, hey, care lesion mine. Whoa, it's so good. And this is what makes calling out important. I'll be covering that soon, how to quicken callouts. That's very important, by the way. So let's talk about more unique R6 terms. Vertical, bandit tricking, hot breaching, on ping, burn ADS and magnet, make line of sight / rotation, one at breach, make wall soft, and window double tap. Or barricade double tap. So, play vertical. Vertical simply meaning, let's say you're on a first floor, there's a buck on second floor, he opens holes onto first floor. You can say as a defender, buck playing vertical. Then you say the room like, so buck playing vertical piano, can't play in garage and consulate, for example. Or let's say you're playing, let's say coastline, right? We just played coastline. Let's say you're a defender playing kitchen. You can say buck playing vertical on VIP, can't rotate service, something like that. Bandit tricking, some of you may not know this. Also, really for the newer players may not know this. What makes bandit unique compared to mute, for example, is mute can't really trick a wall. So what is trick a wall? So let's say you've put 2 batteries down on a reinforced wall and a thermite, and an EMP goes down and a thermite opens up that wall. What you can do, I know now that but now the batteries don't break. But let's say it breaks, right? Let's say it breaks. What now you can do is, once you hear that thermite charge being placed, or the click, right, and you put down your battery at the same time, even when that exothermic charge from thermite is going off, you putting down your battery makes it so that the wall is electrified once more, and then the thermite charge gets destroyed by the battery. So that's just something to note, right, as a bandit player. You don't really see it so much nowadays because of operators like Kaid, and also because Maverick exists, so that by opening that hole below, Bandit is unable to trick because their feet will be exposed while doing it. That's something to note. Hot breach. What does this mean? If you have a breaching charge, which is honestly probably the least used gadget for a reason as well. It's not really very useful at the moment. What is hot breach? Hot breach means if you place, let's say you're repelling a window and you place a breaching charge on a window, you press spacebar so you fly like Spider-Man. You click G or whatever your grenade button is and you click it, boom, window opens, you swing in at the same time. That is hot breach. Do you do this in rank or in pro play? No. You don't see this at all actually in pro play. Ain't Mav a joke now? No. No. Maverick's probably still the strongest, dude. Why? Maverick has grenades. What operators have grenades? Barely any. Operators like Finka, Yana has grenades. Yes. Are they good? Not really. Sledge has grenade. Yes. But Buck can open more walls. Big brain time. Nades are huge. Maverick also has no counter. Bandit tricking, you can break. Mute, jammers, you can break. Kite can't trick if you're there. Why? Open a circle hole, grenade. Grenade, boom, everything broken. You might even get a kill. So that's why Maverick is the strongest actually at the moment. So let's move on a bit. On ping, what is on ping? In Rainbow Six, you have a pinging system unlike CSGO. So treat this as like, you know, if you play League of Legends or, you know, Valorant or whatever, you can ping. So yeah, but should you ever say on ping? No, we've covered that before. Always try to say the number now, especially with ping 2.0 system where you can say number 3, number 4, number 5, stuff like that, depending on what your number is given to, what number you're given when you start the game. At the same time, you should always say the room first. So like piano, number 2 ping, instead of just saying number 2 ping, something like that. Oh, sorry. Burn ADS and magnet. So what does burn mean? Burn means you don't really, it's not to destroy the gadget per se, though if you can, why not? But burn ADS just simply means get rid of that charge. So as we know, ADS can catch 2 charges, so 2 flashbangs, right? Or 2 nades or 2 whatever throwable gadget. So burn ADS just means just chuck your flashbangs or, and then you should never use your nades on it unless you have to. All your smokes. So burn the flashes first, because flashes are probably the most useless secondary gadgets. They really only are used for clearing ADSs at this point of time in this meta. So that's just what it means. Just chuck your flash. Yeah, you don't flash the enemy, but now that ADS is useless, so you have a nade operate, your nade teammate can nade the guy, get a kill, or you know, something like that. Or you can now break the deployable shield that's preventing your team from entering a room, stuff like that. So it's important. Just burn your flash. Make line of sight and rotation. We covered this last week, so I hope you guys still remember. Line of sight just means have open holes on a soft wall for you to look through to the other end. Rotation means that the wall is big, that hole is big enough for you to walk through, basically, to rotate. One at breach. One at breach is a term commonly used where it's used universally. It's not just to explain a specific wall. So it's the same across all maps. So let's, on breach, right? One thing to note is sometimes attackers may breach 2 walls. In this case, try not to say on breach, but say the location instead. So let's say we just played coastline. Coastline's not so good because hot breaches are weak. Let's say clubhouse. Clubhouse, CCTV cache defense, right? Let's say they open up platform wall, which is the CCTV wall to the outside, and they open construction wall, which is construction wall to cache. Don't say on breach, because on breach would then have 2 suggestive meanings, right? One on that platform, one's on construction. However, let's say only one wall is open, which is, let's say the platform wall is open, which is towards the outside into CC. You can say on breach because there's only one. Everyone understands what's open. Of course, try to say CCTV walls open first before you say anything like on breach. Let's read. Use capital to counter bandit tricking. You can't do that on all maps. The reason why is to be able to use capital, you would either need to have a drone hole there, or a window there, or some crazy line of sight that, you know, Coconut Bra taught you or something. Other than that, by bringing capital, right, you're basically suggesting that all your setups now need a capital. So from what we covered last week, you need to have a balanced lineup. Capital is strong. Capital is a very versatile operator. but he's an execute operator predominantly, right? So as a capital player, instinctively you don't want to die. You don't want to be put in a situation where you die. You want to wait until that last 1 minute when your team is all ready to execute for the bomb site, get the plant down. Then you're very useful as a capital kind of thing. But by saying that you want to use capital all the time to clear, I don't think it's very wise. Why not? By the use of Maverick, right? Maverick can make a wall soft. In every lineup, you will see that even in pro play, right? Zofia has basically picked like 90%. Why? We all know. I don't need to explain. Ashe, very strong operator, especially on rank. Everyone is playing Ashe. You will always have an Ashe player. So if you didn't know, Maverick can make walls soft, which means now your team operator lineup as an attacker can be way more versatile, where you don't even need a heart breacher. You don't need Thermite. You don't need Ace. You don't need Hibana even for the hatches. As a Maverick player, recently you got buffed as well. You can open up 2 hatches now. You can even make a wall soft and open up 1 hatch. So something to note is, with Maverick, right, you can do everything on your own. And at the same time, as a single individual player, you counter Kai. That's something else that Capital cannot do. As a Maverick, you can open a small hole and nade through it to destroy Electroclaws, whereas as a Capital, well, your fire doesn't do anything to gadgets. Why? I don't know. Put a lighter to a switch. I'm pretty sure that switch would break, but you know, this is not real life. So make wall soft. What make wall soft is, as we just covered. Wow, perfect. Wow, it's almost like this lecturer is so smart. Wow, Playbox, insane. Maverick, you can make wall soft. As I said, making wall soft simply means from a reinforced wall. As a Maverick player, if you... I will not go in depth with it because it's very complex, and Maverick is probably the hardest operator to master, followed by like shield operators, but we don't talk about that. Wall soft means if you get the 4 corners of a reinforced wall, the entire wall will turn soft, and you can use Ashe charge, Sophia charge, grenade, buck, sledge, anything to break it. Something to note. Window double tap or barricade double tap. What this means is, let's say on cafe, right, you're rappelling on that west balcony for minibar or piano stage, and as maybe in drone phase, you spotted a defender double tapping, as in he melees a window below you, like on mining, if not red stairs window, he double taps it. What this means is, in this game, if you double tap any barricade, you're able to vault through it, even if it's a standing barricade. So usually why defenders do this is, let's say they want to jump out that window to kill a player repelling. Instead of having to tap it 3 times, alerting their position, they only need to press the space bar, break through the window, and immediately they have their guns out facing the player. So yeah, that's something to note. I think I just don't like how long it takes to open hatches as Maverick. That's the thing, right? As Maverick players, I have a Maverick main in my team. He literally is a slave to Maverick, but he's a good Maverick player. So basically, as a Maverick player, if you know what you're doing, it does not take long to open hatches. It also does not take long to open soft, make walls soft. It also does not take very long to do anything really as a Maverick if you're very good with your gadget. And something for you to take note of, yes, you're not wrong to say that Maverick is still slower. However, as I said, it comes down to versatility in your operator lineup. Because you have Maverick, you can now bring a flank watch operator like Nomad, and now your whole team can be safe while they're rappelling windows. Think about that. So basically, you're guaranteeing your teammates stay alive, and that's so important, right? Or by bringing that Maverick, you have that versatility now, where you also have grenades, because as I said, not many operators have grenades that are good besides Sledge and, well, now Maverick, right? So something to know. Maverick is very good. Very good. And if you think that it's wasting time, if you think about it, you could be wasting more time by not bringing a Maverick. Simply because now you have to coordinate all your operators. Let's say there's a hatch that's electrified by Kite Claw. Who can break it? And absolutely nobody but Maverick, right? So, well, now you have to waste 2 players' time. So now you have to call out, hey, Thatcher, I need to EMP. Hey, Thermite, I need to open hatch. When in fact, maybe the Thatcher could have been droning the site and calling where's the weak points, or like maybe instead your Thermite could be opening a wall leading to the site, you know, something like that. Now you have to call them all the way to that hatch. So instead you just have 1 player Maverick do everything, right? Easy clap. Easy clap. One thing you should do is you should watch Clubhouse Pro games if you're interested. Clubhouse is a map where Mavericks pick like 99,000% of the time, as long as he's not banned. Alright. Good questions. By the way, not so much on callouts, but it's very, very, very good questions. How you should give callouts. Now, this is just some examples, right? Worst example of giving a callout, especially when you die. You have angry noises, be it whether there's vulgarities like, oh, or like, how I died. What? How is it not a headshot? Something like that, right? Don't do that. And then when you die, you're tilted. You go grab water. You go wash your face. You don't watch cams for your teammates. Letting some defender flank your teammate, you know, then it's not so good. Or like you start complaining, oh, he just peeked me. Or when you instead of spectating a drone, you spectate your teammate and go, you see him, he's over there, you see his head. Yeah. We all hate those, man. You hate to see it, bro. Alright, let's move on. Instead, what you should do, I recommend everyone screenshot this, if not at least look at this and look at it and remember it by heart, alright? Because calling out on an info heavy game like Rainbow Six, important as hell, bro. Operator you died by, that's how you should always call, followed by the location, followed by the specific description. So this is an example. Jaeger operator for in piano location by clock. We covered in part 1, if you remember, piano clock. Yeah, so if you can give specific, give specific. You can't give specific, it's alright. Just say Jaeger in piano. But you don't have to say things like, there is one guy playing in piano. That's so long. Just say Jaeger in piano. Boom, bada, bing, bam, boom. And when you die, be useful to your team. Get on cameras, get on flank drones, get on camera, everything, right? So if you don't know what needs to be watched, you can even say it like, anyone wants me to watch flank drone? Anyone got flank drone? Something like that. Oh, and one tip to note, right? If you're a player, like an attacker especially, and you have a specific drone you want to watch, you can say, get on my drone number 3, or get on 3rd drone, on 4th drone, 5th drone, last drone, 1st drone. This makes it easier for that dead player or whoever's watching drones for you to be able to find that camera quickly. Something to note. Very important. Useful for team settings. So Alice, write that down, baby. It's good to know. Let's say you see an enemy in general. This is another format you can give callouts. Insert operator, insert the action / location, and then insert precaution. So an example, Jaeger holding cocktail might rotate down white stairs. Bandit playing below, care C4 to deny plant. Vigil double tap mining window, care run out. So all these are the same thing, right? We follow by operator, action, which is holding. Highlight this word, holding cocktail. Or we can do locations like mining, where we highlight that they're double tapping specifically on that mining window. We don't just say that Vigil is in mining, we're saying that action that is really taking place. And we follow by the precaution. So now that you know, hey, double tap mining window, most likely they're going to run out that window, as we covered just like 2 minutes before. If not, we can say, hey, Bandit's playing below and he has C4, maybe he's denying plant, stuff like that. So that comes with game knowledge as well. You need to know what operators have what secondary gadget, which we covered last week. So to those that came last week, y'all are ahead of the game, baby. Oh yeah, especially as an IGL, you need to know what operators you kill and what operators are left standing. That's where you know where to plant, what to plant, how to plant. What you have to do. Do you have to clear roam? Do you not have to clear roam? If it's just a Jaeger and maybe like Vigil, which can't really do anything to deny plant, do you need to clear roam? Not really. Let's say you know there's a Valkyrie and a Pulse scanning you as you're trying to plant on a soft floor. Yeah, you might want to clear that. Just something to know. How you should give callouts. Let's say you have no information, but you're able to get a strong guess of something. So this means you have a very strong hunch, right? So especially as an IGL, you need to have this skill. But let's say you're not an IGL, but you should still learn this skill. I really feel that every player should learn to IGL at some point. Just so you learn how to multitask better and be more aware as a player in and out of game. So what a strong hunch means is, let's say first round, you know the defender Jaeger always plays on white stairs on cafe. Maybe next round he's probably going to do the same thing. You can say on the next round, hey, if you take white stairs, Jaeger usually plays there. That's how you do it. So in this case, insert player, you're trying to inform. So let's say you have an Ash player who's wanting to push white stairs. That's his plan. You can inform him with the precaution following in. So it will go by sledge, care, white stairs, no flank drone. So this is the precaution. There's no flank drone, which means even though we have dead players who are free to help and give information, we don't have the necessary information to give because we don't have that flank drone, so on and so forth. or that necessary intel. Thermite don't plant default C4 from below. So default, right? Default. For players that play this game a lot or spend more time, you will know what default means, because in this game there's of course there's a whole room that you can plant in. However, most of the time as an attacker, you usually plant by the same areas, be it because it's easy to cover angles from, or because it's easiest to get the plant down there. Stuff like that. Or maybe the cover is good so you can plant there safely. Some stuff like that. Something to note. So Ash Care Rush White Stare, you're gonna use that example. Okay, let's see. I need to pee too, man. Alright. Okay, let's read some stuff. Is there anything important? Yeah, not so happy words. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, isn't it? I was gonna put in all the, you know, the naughty words, but like I can't say that on stream. Accurately having the wrong blah 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 blah. How important is calling out enemy HP when you killed 0? Well, no. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, I would say like let's say it's out of 100%, right? How important is calling out HP? Probably like 10. You should be hitting headshots anyways, right? Whether you take a gunfight or not should not be based off an enemy's HP. 90% of the time, which is why I say 10%. When you should be taking gunfight is not based on HP, but based on who that operator is. Is it important to kill that operator? Or also based on time, or also based on what is your man count. Are you man count down? Are you in a 2v5 situation and you don't know what you have to do? Then yeah, taking that peek, that aggression is important. But calling out the HP is not important. Even so, you should never say after you die 20 HP, Zofia 20 HP. Don't say that. Maybe you can say Zofia and Piano peeking white stairs. Then you say 20 HP. The HP comes last. Always say operator first, followed by let's see. Yeah, here. Operator first, followed by location, followed by specific description, and then you can do the bonus. He's 20 HP, might swing, can rotate, all these kind of things. There's one operator approaching you from western side of the map. My team may be advised one hostile approaching. AC 130 inbound. It's not know whether it's yeah, SCAPE for that. That's the second infection. I will be hosting now. Let me host it real quick. Everyone forgot you saw. Forget you saw that. Just forgot you saw anything. Alright, I really need to go pee, but it's okay. I will hold it in for the boys. Alright, let's change map. Do you guys want to play a specific map? Oregon? Oregon's played a lot. Oregon's not so good for callouts though, so I'm not gonna do that. Clubhouse is blue. There is bar table. Clubhouse is a good map for you to learn how to call out based on object, because there's lots of objects in Clubhouse, but I think we played Club enough. Do you guys have any Oregon? I can go Oregon. You guys want Oregon? Oh wait, let me invite first. What am I doing? I'm sorry. Canal, nah, bro. Canal's not in rank pool. I'll try to bring in maps that you will actually find in ranked. If not, I really recommend for players, let's say from copper all the way up to maybe gold 1. If you want to improve, you don't have to watch Pro League, and you can watch tips and tricks videos. Some of it are okay. Sometimes I hear useful stuff like don't peek all the time, don't rush, all this kind of thing. Okay, that's basic stuff you should know, and I think it's important to know as foundation. But moving forward, once you hit like that plat 3, or maybe a very high gold 1, right? Or you hit that plat 3 and you're up from, oh my gosh, it's this guy. I saw him on casual. If you moving on from there, let's say your aim is down, you understand every map to a decent degree. Watching Pro League is really the best way to improve. Is it worth watching streamers? I've had people ask me before, like, is it worth watching Pengu? Is it worth watching like Shaiko? Answer for me, no. Why? You can't really get your answers your questions answered most of the time because they have a lot of viewers, And when you see pro players play ranked, more often than not, they're not trying hard. As in, they're not like playing with their life on the line, like as if it's a competition. So instead, what you should do is you can watch pro league games, right? So some good teams to watch. Let's say you really like NA. Some good teams to watch is teams like Dark Zero, teams like TSM. You can watch those guys. If you're into EU, I don't really recommend watching gunfight heavy teams like Tempera Esports. You can maybe watch teams like Secret. Unfortunately, Chaos is gone. No, it's Chaos in. I can't remember, but I know Secret's really good with their utility usage, so you can watch those guys. If you're interested in APAC, support local scene, who uses utility very well. Fortunately, Singapore is very strong in utility. You can watch Giants, or you can watch Japanese teams if you're gunfighty. Korean teams are very baseline, as in they don't really have anything too spicy, but their individual players are very, very strong. So something to note. Invite Conbrab? Alright. I keep kissing the mic by accident. I don't see Con. I have Con though. Con is offline. Quamer. I don't have Quamer. Can they add me? Oh, I can add them. Never mind. So yeah, I really recommend for those under Plat 3 in a sense. Of course, rank doesn't mean much. As you can see, I'm Plat 1 now because I haven't really played much. As you can see, I've played about 17 games. But something you just need to know is, well, rank doesn't really matter much in team setting. So, yeah. But at least hit Diamond or Plat 1 if you're trying to play for Challenger League or whatever, right? But yeah, that's why this workshop is great, I think, considering that there's not many people, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, I like that there's not many people so that, you know, your questions can be answered, basically. Conbreb is offline. I can't invite. So considering there's not many people, you can actually ask a question, so I can read everything. Said you don't have credits, time to go for it, baby. In meantime, let's just talk about this. Rainbow Six is an Intel heavy game. We've covered this all 5 lessons. I will forever say this, okay? It's a very team reliant game. You win because of your information. So thus being a team game, it's very important to share and give information to your teammates effectively. Effectively should have been highlighted. Don't say on ping. Don't say bad words you shouldn't be saying. Sinful. Don't say useless stuff, you know? Don't say like, oh, that's a cool looking headgear, and then your teammate dies because you didn't say, oh, Jaeger is wearing in piano. Who cares if he has the G2 skin kind of thing. Also, effectively means stuff like, you know, the whole efficiency thing where you don't make your callouts long. Don't say, I think there is one guy in piano, where instead you can just say Jaeger in piano. Bonus tip, if you guys don't see an enemy but you hear an enemy, there is a term you can use called audio. So this is more often used in pro teams, where if let's say you have a Valkyrie cam but you can't really see a player but you can hear that player, you use the term audio. So let's say in cafe you have a camera in cocktail, however you can't really see if someone is on long desk, which is under skylight area, you can still say audio long desk. So that way your teammate, right, who's trying to make use of that callout that you're giving them, will know that you cannot ping for them, will know that you cannot see them, but at least you are able to still give a general idea to your teammate where that enemy is pushing. So that's something to note. Add play invite. Conbreb? Alright. Conbreb's offline, dude. I cannot invite. Oh, you? Invite you? Is that what you're trying to say? Oh, okay. Oi, call me smelly one more time, you watch out. Stinky, uh-oh. Uh-oh, poopy. Uh-oh. Stinky. If you guys don't know where that's from, I'm disappointed. Disappointed. Someone like I love it. I'm someone who loves very trashy memes. Not memes, trashy stuff like stupid skits and stuff. Fox, is there someone I need to invite? Con, is it? I would assume so. Con is offline. Alice. Invited. Uh-oh. Poopy. Uh-oh. Stinky. Uh-oh. Do we need to jumble teams? If not, I will start. Uh-oh. Let's start. I think it's balanced. Should be. Yeah, let's go. Oh, map! Pro. Let's go. So now we'll be focusing on the defender side. Alright, let's get started. By the way, if you're wondering what in-ears I'm using, it's can you see it? It's called Tin Hi-Fi T2. How much is it? $50 for a pair of in-ears? PogChamp, bro. Are they good? Insane. Incredible. They're really good. I recommend it. I use it over my Cloud Alpha. Alright, let's focus more on the defending side now. Let's see. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Alright. Moving forwards. Oh! I know I'm not sponsored or whatever to say this. But if you're very interested in understanding
attackers need to locate and defuse as many
maps more, how you should defend certain bomb sites, I really recommend you go to YouTube, watch Reaper EN, because that guy is doing God's work for people trying to improve, especially for team settings. So if you're a new team, or you're trying to build a new team, or maybe your team is not very experienced yet, Reaper EN, just copy everything he says, but definitely try to understand. It's never useful to just look at something and copy. You should always try to understand why they do certain things. That way you know how to play that strategy properly. Hey, it's Kyoshi. Hi, Kyoshi. TSM. TSM is good, man. I love TSM. So yeah, let's focus on the defending side. So this rotation, we covered this last week, and today rotations, 2 rotations. Utility usage. So let's talk about balance. Is the defending team's secondary gadgets balanced? Yes. Why? Proximity alarms work as barbed wire, so just think of it that way for now. Jaeger also has barbed wire, so that's the 2 sets that I always say you should bring, right, on every map. A general baseline is you always want to have 2 sets barbs, if not 1 set barb and 1 like trap operator like Legion or something, Malusi. Of course some maps you want to have 3 set because it's huge, but it depends on how you want to play. 2 C4s. 2 C4s is very flexible. Reason being it's useful to open hatches or whatever, right? And right now we have shotgun. We don't have shotgun. Oh, we have shotgun, yeah. So shotgun can open rotations, so they don't have to bring impact grenades, so they can bring deployable shields instead, which is, as I said, when you have these baseline, like the 2 set barbed wires kind of baseline, that's when you can branch out more to be more flexible, bring deployable shields, or if you don't have enough information, in this case where they don't have a Maestro or Valkyrie or anything like that, you can bring bulletproof cameras, so that way at least you're given some intel rather than having to fight everything blind and rely on default cameras, which are often shot down. So Buck, right? Buck is actually a very weak operator on this map, just for you to know, because there's not much vertical angles you can really play, at least on this bomb site. I know I said I was gonna talk more about defense, but something to note is you saw 4 players in freezer just now, right? Now they're rotating, which is, I think that means that they had some communication. But oopsie. But definitely, right? They shouldn't have 4 guys all in freezer, but instead at least leave 1 guy to watch that flank. If not, have a drone to at least be able to cover that flank. If not, let's say that Bandit managed to rotate all the way to freezer stairs, you would have gotten 4 kills, a clip, and a YouTube video. So, something to note.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
So now he's, oh, what? But yeah.
15 seconds left.
So now, as you can see, that proximity alarm going off, making it so much easier for this mute player to win this round for his whole team. Oh, good night. But yeah, basically, use your utility. Wins you rounds, as you just saw. Utility wins you rounds. Yeah, not much to really talk about that one. Besides the fact that if they had a flank drone in meeting, oh! A good tip for those not playing, a very strong tip is you need to understand maps because you need to understand what rooms are important. So that way you know where to put flank drones as well. So you need to know all the flank routes possible. On Oregon, if you guys are spending too much time playing this game or watching too much Pro League, you can never watch too much Pro League, I take that back. One thing to note is, I'll show you from here. So let's say like this, right? Let's say you're taking first floor, bomb site is basement, and you're attacking, right? Where can defenders flank? Let's say all the defenders are in basement, right? At the start of the round, no one went up to second floor. Where can they flank? First spot, big tower stairs. Second spot, as in if they come up big tower stairs, right? They can go into meeting, which is through this door, or they can go into kitchen, and then they flank all the way Whitehall into freezer. If not, let's say your team is pushing lobby and also pushing through this tower. Now you know that freezer stairs, which is right here, can come up. So, as an attacker, what you can do at the start of the round is put a drone right here in the middle of my screen to make sure no one goes up freezer, and 1 more drone right here on T1 to make T1 as in first floor of big tower right here in the middle of my screen to make sure no one goes up. So now you have all flank watched. But let's say no one went up. Now you just need to take a lobby and you just need a flank drone. You can put 1 here by meeting to make sure no one crosses this hallway, where you can see through kitchen hallway where you see now where this Caveira is playing. So that would be a good place to put a drone. And as you can see, because they don't have a drone, you heard that jump sound? That's the sound of a drone. So that wastes time for the attackers as they have to re-drone everything, live drone everything, stuff like that. Something to know. If you understand maps, you can better have a feel, right, for what you need watch, what you don't really need watch. So you can save time as an attacker, and the more time you have as an attacker, the more fair it is for your end. Because the less time you have, the more easy it is for the defenders to win the round. Yeah, you guys should join the R6 Discord. You can find scrims, you can find other Singaporean players. And local events, LAN events, outside events, stuff like that. Online events, I mean. Happen weekly, so do it. Then miss up. Is it good to solo rank? If your goal is to... It depends on your goal. If your goal is to win, solo queue is not advisable. If your goal is to work on information and comms, not advisable. But if your goal is simply to improve your aim, improve your understanding of a map, improving individual skills like your aim, as I said, understanding the map, maybe shot calling or stuff like that, right? Or like rotations. Maybe you want to try out roaming, you want to try a new role on a tank. Maybe from hard breach you want to now be entry frag. Then Solo queue is alright, but I would say take it with a pinch of salt because don't expect to win as a solo queue because not everyone is very open to being a supportive player. So yeah, something to note. Yeah, like personally, if I grind it, it's very easy for me to hit 5,000 MMR. However, I don't really personally like rank that much because in a competitive setting, rank is played very different from pro games like scrims or scrims or competitions. So yeah, but yeah, personally, I don't know a single player who can solo queue to champion rank. So you know, it's a team game. It's very hard to play solo as a team game. Because in this game, it's not like in a league where you can just solo queue because everyone else is solo queuing. So at least the playing feels a bit fair. But in R6 it's different. You can be solo queuing, but too bad now you're fighting a pro team in an enemy team. Yeah, so it's a bit unfortunate. But it's alright. Personally, I use solo queue as either warm up or I use solo queue and for, as I said, individual stuff, right? Oh, another term, right? I forgot to cover this. It's called hunting drone. So as a defender, what you can do as hunting drone is at the start of the round, after you reinforce stuff and maybe barricade stuff, maybe what you can do is go up and find drones. So as a defender, you also need to know where people like to put. Attackers like to put pre-planted drones. Pre-planted drones, where I've covered before, is drones you put during drone phase because it saves you time for not having to drone it when the round starts, but instead you already have a drone there knowing it's clear. So, yeah. So, let's talk about balance of utility. It's not balanced. You have two sets of impacts which are actually very useless at the moment because you can't open there's nothing to really open on site at least. And we have one C4, which is fine. One set bulbs, as I said, you should always try to have at least two forms of intel, as in for doorways and stuff, which is bar, proximity, banshee, lesion mine, ella mine, stuff like that. And we have one shield. In this case, what Smoke should have done is instead of taking shield, maybe he could have brought barbed wires. Why? Because they're not really using the shield well, and at the same time they really need that extra barbed wire. Because let's say now the attackers push down onto site. It's very hard for the defenders to know where exactly they're pushing from. In this case, exactly. There's only two barbed wires and it's not good here. You should never put barbed wires stacked up like this, especially if you don't have spare. Maybe they can put one here, then one hallway. Or they can put one in this door, then maybe one here, something like that. They should not be stacking up all their utility like this. Just something to know. I'm pretty sure these players are not beginners, huh? Most of these guys are pretty good. Yeah, gold's alright, plat's alright. I can't see the rest of the ranks, but yeah. I think, but I still do think it's good to learn the foundations, and especially I think today, right? Today is on communications, and it's very hard to practice communication when you don't have a team. So I think, yeah, pretty useful today. Alongside, I think Workshop 4 was very useful as well. How to properly make use and balance out your secondary gadgets and gadgets so that you have a more balanced and versatile operator lineup so that you can attack all bomb sites with ease. So yeah. Something I want to remind everyone is every workshop is important in the sense where everything is built up upon one another. It's like a step-by-step process on how you get a better player. So like lesson 1 was easy, right? Setting up operators. Then lesson 2 we teach a bit more. And then things like we move fast forward to 4 where you learn more about, yeah, we told you to bring these gadgets and why, but now it's like, now you need to balance it. Now you need to do that. Now you need to have that understanding of, yeah, okay, nitro cells is so strong, right? You get kills with nitro cells, but you shouldn't bring 5, right? So stuff like that.
10 seconds to insertion.
And now number 5 is how you play in the team. So yeah.
5 seconds to insertion.
I'm pretty sure these like not many people get plat as their first rank. I'm being honest with you. But even so, as I said, it's very important because there's a lot of diamond players, champion players, competitive players, players who are in teams like tier 3, tier 2 teams, where their foundation is lacking, and that's what's, you know, holding them back, right? To be a very strong and overall good player, good in a sense, like good as in you're very all-rounded, right, or whatever. You need to have your foundations first. It's the same with everything, sports or whatever you may be doing. You need to have that foundation. Copy good players. After you copy good players, understand why they do certain things. And after you understand why they do certain things, that's when you really will see improvement in yourself. So for now, this workshop is to teach you that theory on what you need first. Then from there, you practice what we teach. And after you practice what we teach, you're gonna find yourself improving. 100%. The first rank I got was Plat 2. I played 22 games, I think. 20 or 22 games. No! Oh my goodness! You should not do that. You should always shoot the nitro cell before you push it. I was Plat 2 in my first season. Then I hit Diamond every other season, basically. But yeah, you should always take your time. There's no rush. I think the joy of this game, yet it's kind of like learning. Learning is the important thing. It sucks to be bad, and the fact that you're learning stuff and other players are already like so like veteran. They played this game for 4 years, 3 years. Unfortunate, but you shouldn't let that, you know, hinder you from learning. Because at one point, you're gonna reach that point as well. If not, be better, right? So take your time. No rush. Oh, how? Oh! Good example! Let's talk about secondary gadget, right? Let's say this cap gun, oh wait, no, Tachanka does not have it, sorry, then never mind. But you see, one thing that was not so good, if you noted, was they had an Echo player, right? However, Echo died very early, not being able to use... Oh no, Echo didn't die. That just means that utility usage was bad. So let's say utility usage was better, Yokai was used better in the sense where he can call for his teammates. Hey, they're planting default. Hey, they're planting behind the bunk bed. Hey, they're planting by the window. If you can give these kinds of callouts, not only can you deny the plant with your stun, but you can call for a player to C4 from below. You can just call for your nitro cell player to C4 over the bit, stuff like that to deny the plant. So if they made use and managed their utility better as a defender, they would have been more successful with their hold. Definitely. So yeah. Oh, in the initial push. Oh, then that's on the fault of Echo. As an Echo player, your drones are as important as your life. Reason being, the reason why you pick Echo is for the drones. So, by you losing your drones, you're basically a recruit, right? You don't have any gadget, basically. So, that's something to note. Similarly, let's say you are... Let's say you're playing Mozzie. Let's say you're playing Mozzie, but you're unable to steal any drones, you're unable to shoot drones, find drones, unable to deny any drones from entering the building, as in you're using the pest gadget as a jammer in a sense. Maybe you should switch off mute. Maybe you don't need... Mozzie, you don't need Mozzie. But you need to know how to play certain operators as well, not only like strategy wise, but yeah.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
So you understand what to play. Let's say you're playing Valkyrie, let's say you're playing Mozzie with C4, Mute roam with C4. Then the way you roam should be to stay alive. Why? So that later in the round when the attackers are trying to go for a plant, you can deny them by C4ing them from below. However, let's say you're roaming as a Jaeger or a Vigil, where you don't have this nitro cell to deny plant vertically. You now cannot play slow. Why? Because you can't do anything late game. All you can do is just gunfight, right? So you need to create trouble and contest either early, if not you flank as a Jaeger or whoever without C4 as a defender. Because you have no use being below a site. Whereas a C4 player has a use, right? He can C4 and still get kills without even being there. But as a Jaeger player, you need to directly contest. So either you contest at the start or you contest late. That's a very important thing, by the way, for roamers. You need to know to play like fast or slow. When can you afford to play fast or slow? I'm talking a lot, my throat dry. Sorry. Very nice. So here, as you can see, there are 4 players, right? Though I would say it's not so good to rely on a claymore, I would still say it's at least good usage of utility, right? You might as well use it, even though it doesn't guarantee a kill, as the defender can still shoot it if they're aware of it. It still is a sound indication, if not at least it's better to use it since you have it. Alright, so I think that was very good. However, as they have so much stacked up players, and as you can see, 3 players in this attic, 4 players in this attic, let's count the number of angles they can watch. 1 is the rotation, 2 is this door. Do you need 4 players? No. Do you need 3 players? No. All you need is 2. Maximum 2. If not, all you need to do is having 1. So yeah, something to note. Don't stack up and watch the same thing. I cannot. There we go. Always try to make sure that everyone is watching something different. That way you're maximizing and utilizing your teammates better.
Attackers need to protect the diffuser. Position compromised.
So here, right, what is the issue? Flank, execute, right? So execute. Everyone pushed into kids after they took attic, right? This is okay if you're still clearing site. However, if you want to get that plant down, right, especially if you are the planter, you need to make sure that while planting you are safe. So make sure that your teammates are watching your flank. So let's say you need a specific door watch. In that case, it was trophy, right? What you should say is, one guy watched trophy, I'm going to plant. Like, tell me when someone watching trophy, I want plant. Something like that. So that one watch trophy, one watch white stairs, I'm going to plant. Something like that. Don't just plant. Because sometimes when your angles are not watched properly, that round, right? Let's say the bandit, which was flanking in that 1v4 or 1v3, if he just killed that planter, he would have won the whole round.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Just note that. One of the defenders could have flanked tower. What they did? They did flank tower. However, he got claymore killed. This is something important for you guys to know as well. Especially for a bit more seasoned players, since you have lesser things to memorize. Whether you flank or not, as I said, relies on what utility you have. If you have no worth because you're a Jaeger and you don't have no C4, then you can flank, sure. But right,
10 seconds remaining.
You need to know how many people are pushing. So in that case, there was 4 in attic. I recommend don't flank. Reason being, as we counted before, right? You only need 2 players to cover that doorway and that rotation. So most likely the other 2 players, one is probably droning the site and the other is watching flank. So by you flanking, you're gonna just die. However, let's say you know there's only 2 people in attic, then you can try and flank, because one guy is probably droning for that other guy who's pushing, right? They're not watching flank. So
attackers drop the diffuser.
yeah, you can do the math. As an attacker, if you have spare players, you put someone on flank. Thus, as a defender, if you know there's a lot of people and you know that they have spare players, don't flank. Something to note also is, especially in team setting, right? People have set strats. So there's always a pattern in their strat. If you identify their pattern as a roamer, you know when is the best time to flank. You know whether to flank during execute, you know whether to flank early or contest early. I will not go in depth about that because that's very, very in depth and it takes a lot of game sense to know. One thing to note as well, going back to that roamer topic. Let's say you know one guy pushing east as an attacker and the 4 guys as to pinch, right? And the other 4 guys are flushing up players from the west. What you can do as a roamer is contest that individual guy on east because you know that there's less people there. It's a better, easier, like it's easier for you to force 1v1s instead of being pinched by 2 angles, if not having to fight a 1v2 situation or a very good use of C4 or a 1v3 situation. So contest the weaker point. So let's say you kill the individual player on east. Okay, let's use this example. Let's say there's this side south, which right now you see attackers only sent 1 player. And you see this guy north, where you see most of their players, right? Well, now that they're dead, you can't see them, but in a situation like this, right, as a roamer, if you ask me personally, would I flank north or south? I would flank south. I would flank laundry or freezer, because there's only 1 guy, no one's watching flank drones most likely, and it's easier contestation. And let's say you clear that 1 guy already, you've done your whole team a huge favor. Now that you kill that 1 individual south player, your whole team has their fronts facing the north. Now none of them will be having their backs turned against the enemy and dying for free. So that's how you should think and calculate as a roamer. Pick engagements you're supposed to win, and as a roamer, your job is to make it as hard as possible for attackers to either get to the bomb site. That's when you roam contesting style, where you know that the enemies are taking a specific area first because that's the default setup, right? So you play there as a roamer. Or if you have C4s and a lot of intel like on Valkyrie, you have C4 you have camps for your C4 whatever, and you can play vertical. You can afford to give the rooms to your attackers and just let them enter so you can C4. Well, then you play different again. Something like that.
Camera feed up and running.
This is the new Deagle skin, by the way, if you guys haven't played the new Discovery like me, because Genshin Impact is very addicting. Alright, let's talk about... Let's see. Well, in this case, you see recruits, right? But well, you can't pick them in rank. But all you need to know is recruits have no utility in the form of primary gadget. That's why you don't see anyone playing recruit. Yeah, you shouldn't play recruit, especially if you're trying to win. So, something to know. Looks like this Grizzle Bear. It's plat 3. Looks like this Grizzle Bear guy watches Pro League, because this shield is how you should hold attack. However, your ADS should never be behind a shield. Your ADS should always be in front of shield. So keep that in mind, especially to Wamai players or Jaeger players. So it looks like it's gonna be a heavy frontside take again. I mean, bear. So yeah, this is good. You see, John A is watching flank. He's putting a flank shot now. Let's see if I can get that on cam. Yeah, you see? This is how attackers should play. However, due to lack of communication, I guarantee you no one will be watching that flank shot. So, as a roamer, what you can do is, if you see that the drone has no light, you know that the attackers are not watching the drone, that's when you know you can flank. However, if you see that there's a light on the drone, you should just shoot the drone and fall back, because everyone's gonna be ready for you to flank when you flank. Oh, it's been around? I don't know, I don't use skins. I don't really purchase, I don't check for skins. It's good to know. It looks cool though. I like the blue Deagle skin the most, the one that looks like Lego. But I don't know, I think it's just because I like simple skins. I don't really like the shiny whatever's. This is, yes, see? This is good. Beverages, as you can see. I don't know if Jaeger had info, I don't think so, maybe Valkyrie cam. But as you can see, right, by sending this one individual player and having heavy pressure on this west side big window, the Jaeger, right, which is the roamer, has a very easy time of flanking. Because it's only one individual player. That single player has to watch so many angles, has to drone for himself, and cannot watch flank on his own. So, easy clap.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Oof. Uh-oh. Boom, boom. Personally, recommendation for for people, try not to let me get that. try not to stack up people on windows. Because attacking windows is usually not favorable for the whoever is jumping the window, right? Because same logic applies to that sunrise hole we talked about earlier. For you standing on the window, there's only a left or a right. However, you as a window player will now have to look through in this case, 2 rooms, right? So there's too many angles to watch, which makes it very hard. So yeah. And something to note is, example, example in this case, let's say they have this impact hole, right? Let's say if the Valkyrie didn't peek and let the player jump through the window, the Valkyrie could have just shot the feet, completely denying the guy from living. So like, something to note. So something to note. Don't play on windows too much as an attacker, especially if you have to vault through. Because you're prone. You're so prone, your feet is completely exposed, and you're just sad when you die. So don't die. So if you don't want to die and don't want to be sad, don't jump through windows unless you know it's clear. Or smokes. Use execution operators. Capitao, Ying, Gridlock, Nomad. Stuff like that. Stuff like that were good. Oh my gosh, I really need to use the washroom, but my throat is very dry. It's okay, I will not pee on stream. Okay, let's talk about. Let's see what is being brought. Here now we see very good balance of utility on the defensive side. We see shotgun for rotations on smoke right now. We see wall denial operator on mute. Intel denial, I mean. We have Jaeger, which is like a must pick, basically barbed wires. 2 sets of barbed wires, as the Echo also has barbed wires. Intel from the Echo yokai, and we have 1 nitro cell for deny, 2 nitro cells to deny plant. So this is balanced. This is very balanced. Let's see the overview. Right now we see ITE Malay dropout, right? The IQ. Solo pushing. Why is that bad? No one's watching his flank. He can get easily flanked. There's so many angles for him to watch individually. This, as you can see, it worked in this scenario because there's no barbed wires on laundry stairs. However, let's say this was a ranked game, or let's say this was a pro game, right? This will never be allowed. So if you really want to build good habits, I recommend you not push like this, especially rush. And I recommend that if you really want to improve in the game, don't spawn peek, because in scrims, right, it's like this unwritten rule in scrims. Scrimmages basically means custom games where you just practice and fight against other pro teams. It's an unwritten rule that you should never spawn peek, because you can't even practice. Let's say you kill a guy if you're spawn peek, but you don't know whether your strat is good, because is your strat good because it's good, or is your strat working because you got that first kill, kind of thing. You should never base your strat on a kill. Alright. Reminder, heavy intel, make use of your intel. Right now I think it's, yeah, that's it. That's it for today. But this is just the short Q&A portion. We'll try to keep it short. I don't think there's anything for me to overrun, right? But I'll try end very soon. I have to end now actually, but let's say some frequently asked questions. Feel free to read. If you guys have any questions, who's that boy behind? That's my older brother. If you guys have any questions, as I said, feel free to type in the workshop chat. However, I mean Twitch chat. However, the stream will be ending, so I may not be able to read that in time. But if you're a participant or you have the R6SC Discord, feel free to put all your questions in the workshop chat channel and just tag Playbox. I'll be seeing you. If you're shy to ask your question and have everyone see them, DM me on Discord, or if you have my socials, you can reach out to me. If you have any questions, just ask me now. At the same time, if you want to reach out to my socials, these are my socials. I do other stuff other than just this workshop, right? Recently, I've picked up a bit of streaming. I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact on that. So if you want to know more about me as a human, as a person, personally, you want to see me do stupid stuff in public or something like that, follow my Instagram. If you want to be more updated on my gaming side of me, which is like my R6 or whatever, streaming, YouTube, you can follow my Twitter where I update everything there. Is he as good as me? We play different games. He's good on the games he plays. I'm good on the games I play, kind of thing. But yeah, I hope everybody learned something. And unfortunately, today is the last workshop. For those who are unable to participate in the previous workshops, well, just know you missed out a bit. But hey, as I said, you missed out stuff. You can always ask me, reach out to me again, and everything is Gucci. I'm friendly, I think. And then, yeah, since it's the last lesson, I hope everyone enjoyed their time. And I hope everyone learned something new, and I wish you all the best in your gaming journey, and I wish everyone the best that they learn and improve themselves in R6 and get to see their improvement and really enjoy the game more. At the same time, this stream has been kindly brought to you by both the Rainbow Six Siege Singapore community, R6SC for short. Do join the Discord as the link is being shared, and also provided with SCAPE's community rallies. So right now, this SCAPE channel, if you like these types of content, you can follow this SCAPE channel, as there'll be others content like like Mobile Legends if you're into that, or like podcasts, just chatting stuff. A lot of stuff goes down here, so feel free to follow if you want to keep in track of whatever is going on. And also, for those who have participated in at least 3 workshops, I really thank you for sticking around for so many workshops. It really shows that what I'm doing is useful and I'm able to help the community in one way. And also, I'm glad that all of you give very good feedback as well, and I think that's great, and y'all are inviting your friends. Is there anything I'm missing? Also, tonight at 9 PM, do tune in to the R6SC Twitch channel, right? I cannot find the link. Can someone link it in the chat? The R6SC Twitch channel, as there'll be stuff going, like community events going on. So if you're unable to play, maybe you can just drop by to watch for a while, and you can see what happens in this community night. So on R6SC, every Saturday night, there is a community night where people get together, play arcade games like we have Simon Says or whatever for a while, and then we'll have like a proper custom game and stuff like that. And yeah, lots of things go down. As I said, there are also offline events going on, so you'll always be notified through R6SC. And offline events right now, we can't do them because of COVID, but let's say there are tournaments going on, we can have maybe a LAN viewing party, or maybe outside of that, we can have just a simple LAN party, just have fun and everything like that. And it's always very fun, so do drop by. And yeah, it's gonna miss y'all. I think I met a lot of new people through this SCAPE thing, so it's gonna be bittersweet ending. But to those that stick for 3 lessons, thank you so much for participating so much as well, and actively in chat and also in game. Enjoy your credits, spend it on your battle pass if you have to, especially for those people playing Genshin every day and you can't push your battle pass. Yeah, enjoy yourselves. Wish you all a great weekend, a great year, and I'll catch you on the flip side, baby. See y'all. Peace out. Catch me on R6 APAC Pro League one day. Catch me on R6 Invitational one day. You're gonna see me. So bye everyone. Thanks everyone for dropping by. This is it from me. Bye bye.